All right, what's up, guys? So we just got some more news for Granblue Fantasy Versus. Super happy that we finally got the update and everything to come with it. So of course there's going to be balance patches that I saw already coming out, and then there's the new mechanics that I have not checked out already. So I definitely just want to check out to see what the new mechanics are bringing to the table. I couldn't really understand like what they would bring inside the game that I felt like the game really needed. I was like, I don't really think the game needs like sort of like a counter assault or anything like that. I don't think it needs anything like that. I could definitely see them giving us some like type of power-ups or probably like some ways to spin meter. I don't really know exactly what that would entail. I don't really know what we're going to see here, but anyway, let's check out this video and see all the new mechanics that Granblue Fantasy Versus is going to be coming out with tomorrow. By the way, the game is apparently on sale right now on Steam. So if you haven't picked up the game, the PC community is booming. So if you want to join the game and been thinking about it, now's the chance to definitely do so. All right, here we go. So new game mechanics for Granblue Fantasy Versus. Oh, speaking of spinning meter, tactical move rush.
Rush is an aggressive dash, consuming 50% of the skybound arc gauge to bolster your offense.
Is it like a RC?
Use it whenever you feel like your opponent has put a little too much distance.
Or is it just a neutral thing? Is it invo?
The dash is strike invincible
I got so many questions.
after startup.
Oh, it is.
It'll be tough work to
Hey, we about to be rushing on fairy players?
Be aware, however, that projectiles
it's
are
not
still
projectile.
effective,
Okay, that's
so
good.
Don't rush them
It
down
doesn't.
willy-nilly.
That's pretty good. I actually respect that decision.
Perfect your timing to dodge attacks while approaching for the kill.
That's good, and it has to be used
or
in
link the
a
maneuver into combos
sort of like
extra bit of
reactive
damage.
manner.
3 birds, 1 stone.
And it can be used in combos, like you just said. That is actually going to be very good for certain characters, especially characters that I play.
Backshift is a defensive backstep, consuming 50% of your skybound arc gauge for a quick retreat.
We Street Fighter 5?
Invincible from activation. It gives you a safe way to gain some space.
Wow, it's on startup.
Even on wake up.
Wow. That's actually going to be very good.
This maneuver can be activated by holding back.
We got a decent amount to talk about this.
This will allow you
because this already got my brain turning about the way this is going to change the game.
Any nasty okizeme. Use this technique to open up that distance.
That's pretty cool.
Realistic.
That seemed very good in the corner too. But I wonder, like, do they got recovery and punishable and stuff?
Once per round mega buff.
Yo, we actually
it's ready to
yo,
go.
overdrive. Yo,
and the
if you're a Granblue Fantasy player, you know about this.
Invincible on
what does it do? So 100%.
Quick emergency evasion. Once active,
so wait, it actually does damage. Did you see that?
An overdrive gauge, granting you various enhancements.
I'm guessing it goes down.
First off, all attacks will deal more damage.
All attacks do more damage. That's like a 20% damage buff, is it?
Next, normal attacks will chip away at your opponent's health, even when they're blocking.
Chip damage on normals? Okay,
on the flip
that was a
side,
decent amount of
your
chip.
Opponents won't be able to chip you back.
And you stop chip? Stop it. This seems pretty good.
Next up, the universal overhead.
This is about to
attack
save
will come out
lives.
Slightly faster.
Slightly faster. I wonder if you can use that
Look
mechanic
at our boy go.
with the rush mechanic. Actually, like, can you use rush in like in the air or stuff, or like I just want to know.
Not to mention, simple commands will share the parameters and cooldown timings of technical commands.
Oh, that's broke. This is good offensively and defensively. I'm actually glad it has a nice balance to it.
Finally, while in overdrive, you can unleash your skybound art or super skybound art if you're under 30% health at any time. This will set your overdrive gauge to 0.
Makes sense. And you still have to have the 30%, so you don't get access to your other super
Make sure you
earlier.
get the most out of overdrive before the gauge is completely depleted.
Wow, look at that. Is it completely unblockable?
Taking damage will result in losing a third of your overdrive gauge.
Okay.
So stay light on those.
So it's not broke, but it seems like a very strong mechanic. Wow, this is going to change the game a lot as far as how people use their meter in this game.
Will pave the way for new and varied strategies. Make good use of them, and you'll be fighting like you never have before. Thanks for watching.
Dang,
and
that's so crazy. That is absolutely insane, man. So like I said, balance patch notes are out in the wild, so I will put the links down in the description below so you guys can check that out for the characters that you play or are thinking about playing for Granblue Fantasy Versus. So they said we were going to get 3 mechanics, but I guess 2 of the mechanics are pretty much the same thing. Just one goes forward, one goes backward, the back shift and the rush. But the overall thing here that we see is there's more ways to actually spin your meter. When you get 100, you can do the overdrive or you can use back shifts. This actually changes things quite a bit as far as like what you see, because there's always been a mechanic inside this game that people didn't really utilize, and this game actually has an instant block. If you didn't know, this game has an instant block and people didn't use it that much. You see like an instant block here and there, but it was never nothing that you actually see, because it actually doesn't reduce the frame data or anything like that. People just really didn't use the mechanic. But now I think this is actually going to actually give people more of a reason to actually try to do instant blocks to gain your meter faster, to get more of these options available to them, because this is going to be something super strong you could utilize, right? You know, if you want to use, say, a rush, or have the opportunity to use a rush before you go into your overdrive, or still have access to your overdrive, doing instant blocks to get more meter over time would definitely be something that's going to be helpful for people. So not only is this game giving us more mechanics, but it's making more other mechanics that's been in the game more viable. So I really do appreciate that. That actually is something that's inside the game now, because we have more ways to spend meter, because you're not always going to be getting that super just like that right out the bat, because pretty much you always got a super pretty much. Like, you know, if you had a decent match, you're going to get a super, unless it was like you got hit and then like got blown out by somebody doing massive damage, like straight up ace normals or something on you, then you were pretty much guaranteed to get a super in this game. So you don't see a lot of instant blocks, even in like higher level play. You don't really see it. But now this is definitely going to give people more of an opportunity to try to use that mechanic a little bit more. Now, talking about rush and backships themselves. So rush seems pretty interesting because it goes through normals, but it has the bit of startup that it has. So it isn't going to be frame one when you're actually using this. This seems like it's going to be very good for situations where you know a person is going to press a button and you just want to get in and get past the button to actually get a punish on the move and stuff like that. This seems very good versus characters that got stronger normals than you. If you're dealing with a character that has, you know, feel like a better neutral game than you, doing something like this to like either like close the distance to get that good hit can definitely be something that can definitely help out in a match. Especially, I think this is something that a lot of people are going to try to utilize on like a fairy player or something like that. This seems like something universally, if you're not using this mechanic a lot, you're going to probably see a lot of people try to force this mechanic on like fairies. The thing that I want to know about these mechanics is really, I want to know the extent of like how they use. Obviously they're showcasing them on the ground. I don't know if they could be used in the air. We know they can be canceled in from normals, but I want to know, like, you know, do they have recovery and stuff like that? Like, all these mechanics look like they may have like a stint of recovery. Like, what if they do this and you wait it out? Can you punish them for doing this, or are they completely safe? I want to know things like that too, because things like that is also important. It's going to enhance the mind game of knowing or thinking about if your opponent is going to be using one of these mechanics, and how do you deal with them when they're going to be doing it. You know, it's cool that the mechanics get to bypass certain things for 50 meter, but you also should be able to call the mechanic out and actually get a punish yourself for them trying to do it if you know they're going to do it. Overdrive, there's a decent amount to talk about here. So first of all, the bat, it costs 100 meter to do it, right? You got to have 100 meter to do it. Once again, it's just incentivizing the actual use of instant block to get this mechanic a lot faster. Now, once again, I do appreciate that this actually does have some offensive and defensive mechanic. It's going to be invul right off the bat. We don't know if this is going to be unblockable. We see that it do damage. It shouldn't be unblockable though, and it looks pretty slow. So even though they said it can be used as far as like a reversal or something like that, I wonder if you can bait this mechanic out. It seems very slow, and if you're using like they use like a heavy normal or something in this video, I wonder, you know, most people start their pressure off with like a close 5L, right? Wonder if those are going to be fast enough to actually bait out this mechanic. If so, this mechanic may actually not be as good like defensively as we may think. It may be good at like as a neutral tool or something like that, and it has like a blowback, that may be okay. But as far as defensively, we have to see exactly how to start up and like how it works on a person blocking and stuff like that. That would definitely require some testing for tomorrow. But as far as the things it can do, it sounds absolutely insane. Being able to do more damage, being able to do chip damage, and then being able to stop chip damage, as well as increasing the startup of the overhead, that sounds pretty crazy already. And then you still have access to your actual like supers and stuff like that. So a really unique mechanic, and this is definitely a type of mechanic that I feel like is going to be good for especially the defender, because you can actually stop those chip situations from happening. So when a person is trying to go for like a chip kill or something like that, you could definitely just mitigate that with this. Now, if you get hit, you are losing some of your gauge, but this do seem like it is going to help tremendously for stuff like that. Now, one thing this mechanic actually didn't tackle that I thought it was going to, just based off everything they were saying, I was like, oh, just give me more, right? Was there's this weird thing that happens in this game sometimes where after you use your skybound art and say you got like 50% life left, but you put your opponent in like 30%, this is like sort of like a deficit for you, because they're going to have access to a much stronger super that can kill you off pretty much the next hit. If they touch you in the middle of the combo and stuff like that, the next hit could potentially kill. Like, that hit could definitely kill you. So this is something that the game always had an issue, or not really an issue, but just it is something that you definitely see come up within this game. And I thought this was going to have like some damage mitigation to it as well. I was like, oh, this is going to be super good for that type of situation if you can somehow get your meter back through like instant blocks and stuff like that. But yeah, overall, I'm hyped about the new mechanics, man. It's going to open the door for new strategy as far as defensively and offensively because of the rush system. You've been able to do combos, and of course the overdrive both being used for both. So I like how the mechanics are just a nice balance of everything. I can't wait to see how people are going to try to use these mechanics in their strategies, and what strategies within the game currently are going to be less effective because of these mechanics within the game now. So definitely looking forward to seeing everything that people come up with. And like I said, there are balance changes that are out. I'll put the links down in the description below so you guys can check out the translations that already happened for the characters that you want to play or already playing inside the game. So anyway, let me know down in the comments below how you guys feel about all 3 new mechanics: the backshift, the rush, and of course the overdrive. And let me know how you guys think people are going to use the new mechanics in certain situations. Definitely want to know what you guys feel down in the comments below. Anyway, if you like anything I had to say, drop me a like. I really appreciate it. And if you want more from me, follow my socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn notifications so the next video goes live. As always, my name is Dyken, and I'll see you next time. Signing out.